I feel like the Mosin sniper rifle has been in almost every single FPS game over the past 10 years, but it's constantly done wrong. When you use bolt-action rifles, you want to be in control of the rifle. You ADS, you fire a shot, and then you want to take a second and see where that shot lands. If I'm using a bolt-action rifle, I want to actually be in control of that bolt. And I should also be able to open it and individually load rounds into the rifle whenever I want to. It shouldn't be just some predetermined animation that you're stuck in until you're fully loaded. This level of detail is not something I would have expected to see in Road to Vostok, an indie survival FPS game set in Finland that is only in its technical demo phase right now. And more impressively, this is all made by just one person. Yes, one of the best feeling Mosin Nagants I've played with is right here, and if this level of detail is what we're getting at this stage of early development, this game is going to have a bright future. This is Road to Vostok, and the goal of the game is to make a hardcore FPS single-player sandbox with advanced survival systems and the ability to scavenge, progress, and trade. And when I think of games like this, I would assume that it's going to need an entire studio or at least 3 or 4 people working on it. But that isn't the case here, and Antti, the lead dev, or I guess you could say the only dev, has been developing this publicly for almost 2 years now, leading up to what we have now in the technical demo. But before we get into that demo, can we talk about how cool of a setting and idea the whole game is? Road to Vostok takes place in the southeastern part of Finland along the border with Russia, and you'll start in Area 5 with the ability to slowly progress your way into crossing over into Vostok. In the real world, this region is part of what was the old Salpa line during the continuation war with the Soviet Union in World War II. Because of that, there's actually plenty of real bunkers and defensive positions all throughout the region, and the dev himself has lived here for most of his life. In-game, Vostok is dangerous in this post-apocalyptic world, and you can't just run on in there or you're gonna get killed. You'll have to slowly progress your character, build shelters, get better loot, and prepare yourself to get through the border crossing into finally handling Vostok. As you move closer to this border zone, the AI will get more deadly, but the loot will get better, and you can create various shelters around to save your game. But if you die in Vostok, you die. Game over. Your character is dead, and you'll have to create a completely new one. The dev goes so far as even saying all of your save files will be deleted. This is going to be a hardcore survival game, and I'm on board, but making a video out of ideas for a game and executing on those ideas are two completely different things. So what can we actually play with right now? In this demo, you can run around a small village and explore the fairly basic survival systems, with boards along the road walking you through so you don't miss anything. But what really stands out to me is the level of forward thinking and good gameplay decisions that is already evident at this stage of development. The technical demo is just a demo, but it does a great job of showcasing the foundation for this game's mechanics. If you want to jump straight to the fun stuff like weapons, the textures and animations are great, and in addition to the Mosin that we're very familiar with, we can also play around with weapons like the Suomi KP31 or the RK95, which are very rarely showcased in video games since they are very finished weapons. But not only are the weapon inspect and firing animations incredibly detailed, including visual indicators for the weapon's fire mode, but there's already a process for weapon customization. This is the type of stuff you want to see in early development because it lays the foundation and it shows that gunplay and player progression is being paid attention to. You're not just being plopped into a forest and told to have fun because it's an implied survival game. But not only all that, there's a surprising amount of quality of life systems that are already in place too. Already, you can have your own keybinds, you can adjust audio, mouse, and camera settings, you can even tweak things like contrast and saturation. You can see how the game performs with FPS limiting, you can turn on VSync, you can turn certain HUD elements on or off, and there's already a fully fledged season, time, and weather system implemented. You can even test out your flashlights or turn on night vision by flipping on the night setting and wandering around. Or maybe you want to just sit back and enjoy the Finnish northern lights out in the snow. There's also a video showcasing the game's new water system that was just posted a day ago because, wait for it, this game had to actually be completely recoded and was ported from the Unity game engine to an open source engine called Godot. Now, remember last fall when Unity did the unthinkable and announced that starting in 2024, game devs would be charged for every single install of their game? Well, this monetization method put every single indie dev on high alert, since they could essentially be priced out of making their own games if the game was successful. It would force them to pay Unity thousands and thousands of dollars as installs or even reinstalls happened. Road to Vostok was unfortunately on Unity, and in order to protect the project, Antti eventually decided upon porting the entire game to Godot. If you want to know the details of why he chose Godot 3 specifically, I'd highly recommend watching the full New Beginning video that was posted on their official channel, which is linked down below, but essentially it came down to the ease of use of the program, its capabilities, and, well, it being free. He even compared Godot to Blender, which may have started as a relatively janky, open-sourced, and unknown program, but today is now one of the top 3D modeling programs in the world. Over the course of the last few months, the port from Unity to Godot was completed, and as a result, we now have this technical demo. What I'm playing and everything you see here isn't in Unity, this isn't an Unreal Engine, this is an open source game engine. And as someone who sees a lot of indie projects come and go over the years, what gets you really excited about projects is not necessarily the features that are planned. Of course, promising the world is great and all, but as we've seen with games like the day before, you actually need to put your money where your mouth is. Road to Vostok, on the other hand, has a demo that you can actually try for yourself. And it takes a special kind of dedication to make your entire game on one engine and then port it to a completely new engine within 3 months. You can follow along the project, and as you do, whether it's through their video blogs on YouTube or updates on X or even on the Patreon, you can see real development. To me, this is something worth keeping my eye on, not necessarily because of all the features that I can see in the demo right now, but because of the work that I have seen been done over the past 2 years and the plan for the future. From the world design to the weapons and everything else going on behind the scenes, Road to Vostok looks like it has an actually promising roadmap. As with any game in this stage, it is a bit rough around the edges, but I see the vision and the game mechanics that should result in a really fun game. And since it's single player, it should really allow players to lean into the sandbox element of survival games without worrying too much about persistent servers or PvP balance. And once again, I just have to keep reminding myself that this is all done by just one person. Road to Vostok is definitely one to keep an eye out for. But what do you guys think? Does Road to Vostok look good to you? Has the work over the past couple years convinced you like it's convinced me? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. But that's it for me. Until next time, peace.